Welcome to Beginner's Guide. In today's tutorial, we are going to discuss about JavaScript switch statement. In programming, there are times that we need multiple if statement. In this example, as you can see them here, we are trying to check if the given fruit is equivalent to apple or not. So you may notice that we are using a number of if statement to check whether the fruit is equivalent to apple or not. As you may notice, the code above looks inefficient. Instead of writing multiple if statement, we can shorten the code above with a switch statement. So here is a syntax for you to use the switch statement. So if you run this code, what this basically means, we are trying to check if the fruit value is equivalent to apple. So here the condition will fail, so this statement is not going to be executed. Here the condition will be true, so this statement is going to be executed. As a result, I can see the result as I'm an apple. Though we are using a number of if statement, this one looks inefficient. To avoid this problem, this switch condition is being introduced in programming. So this is a syntax for us to use the switch condition. So let me remove this command part so that it might look brighter. So the switch statement matches an expression against the specified values in the case class. So here is an expression. For example, this expression is the name of the variable. So in this case, we have used fruit as a variable. So here we are going to pass that fruit as an expression. So here we are going to have the case values, case and values. So let's say the first fruit is an apple, orange, banana. So if this expression is matches with the first value, so it's going to be printing the first case instead of printing the case 2 and case 3. So using a switch condition is more concise way to write programming, especially when you have more than one cases to check. So let me just rewrite this above code using switch statement. Then you would see how this switch statement is more efficient than the multiple if condition. So here what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to remove this part. Maybe let me just add switch there. So here I need to pass the expression. The expression is nothing but the name of the variable that we are trying to check, right? So here I'm going to write the conditions like cases. The first case I'm going to check whether the given fruit is apple or not. So let me say apple. If this expression is matched with this case, then we are going to print let me say just copy and paste. So if it is not apple, then we are going to have the next case. Let's say let me just copy and paste with the interest of time. So here there is another case. So in this case I'm going to say this one is going to be an orange. So here I'm going to say I'm an orange. So here the next case I can say banana. So here I'm going to say I'm a banana. Actually here let me comment this if condition to make it clear. So this switch statement will does the same what this if condition does, but this switch condition is a more efficient way to write the code because you can see we are not repeating anything. It looks perfect, right? So it's always perfect to use switch condition when you want to test more than one condition. So in this case, this switch condition is going to match with this expression. If this expression is found from one of these cases, it's going to execute that alone. So instead of executing all the if cases, it's just going straight away to that condition and it's going to execute that part. So even if I run this program, it's going to do the exact thing. But there is a one problem here. Let me save and run so that you would see. Instead of just printing I'm an apple, because I'm trying to check the fruit is equivalent to apple. Yes, it's going to check, it's going to test the first condition, apple is found here. It just has to print this statement alone, not whereby printing I'm an orange, I'm an banana. So this is when the break keyword comes into picture. The break keywords comes after the code blocks of each class, although it is optional, but it is highly recommended. So what is the use of this break statement? The role of the break keyword is to stop the execution of the switch statement when an evaluation is already matched the case. In this case, the evaluation is already matched the first case itself. There is no need for us to go to the next cases, right? So what you can do, every after the block, include the break statement. So when the evaluation is matched with a particular case, it's just going to break the statement. Instead of printing these other cases, it's just going to print this matched case alone. So just try to include the break keyword after every statement so that it will avoid printing all the cases instead of just giving us the actual result, right? So just put the break after every statement so that instead of printing all these things, now it's just going to print I'm an apple. In case if you pass the fruit value as banana, this one will just going to match with this case, is just going to print this banana statement. So when I refresh, I'm a banana, right? This is how switch statement is more useful than using multiple if condition. You might be surprised, in if condition there is a case whereby if you don't have an option, if the condition is failed, we have an option saying else statement. For example, if the person is not eligible to marry before 35 years, yeah, we are going to say he is not old enough to get married, right? So there is an option where we can write the statement in else part. What if this fruit is not found in the whole case? What are we going to do in that case? Let's say I'm going to say something called let me say lemon. So this lemon is not found in these cases, right? So in this case, when I run this one, it's going to do nothing. If you want to say something, this fruit is not found in these cases, so in that case we are going to use the statement as default. So this default statement, you can write the default statement. For example, this fruit is not found in the list, something like that. So when you pass an expression, if that expression is not part of the case, then by default is going to execute this default statement. So when I run this one, it's going to say this fruit is not found in the list. So this is how switch statement is more efficient when you have more than one cases to test. So let us create a simple project using switch statement to understand more how this switch condition would work. So the project that we are trying to create, let's say we are going to ask the user to select the fruits from the drop down menu. So based on the fruit that they have selected, we are going to display the fruit that they have selected together with the price for that fruit. So this is what we are trying to create in this project using switch condition, so that you can understand more about switch condition and how it can be very useful when it comes to more than one conditions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to in the HTML, I'm going to create a drop down menu. To select the drop down menu, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a label here. So this label, I'm going to say choose a fruit, so that a user can choose a fruit from the drop down list. So here inside, as usual, I'm going to have the select. So within the select, I'm going to just pass the fruits like options, different options. I can say the value is equals, let's say the first value is going to be, so here I can say apple. So let me just copy and paste to make more drop down menu options. So here I can say is an orange. So here I can say banana. Even this one I should change to orange. So let me save and refresh so that you will see how does this design would look like. So I'm going there, I'm refreshing. So choose a fruit. Here is a drop down menu. We are going to select different fruits. When I select the different fruits, what I want to do is, when I select banana, I want to display you have chosen banana, the price of the banana is this. So this is what we are trying to build using this switch statement. So for that, what I'm going to do, I want to display the price. So here I'm just going to create a paragraph so that I can display the price of the fruit that I have selected. So here in the paragraph, I'm just going to create an ID. Let me say this ID, I can say them as price. So this is a place where I'm going to display the price for the fruit that I have chosen. So maybe you can still include another one. Maybe just say select the fruits or select an option. Let me save and refresh, so that it would say like select the fruits. When you select, there will be, you are going to select banana. When you select banana, I want to display the price for that banana here down there. So this is what we are trying to create. So now what I am trying to do, I'm going to create the ID for this select. So let me say ID is equals to, we can name them as any, let me say fruits as an ID, and then here I'm going to have an event. I'm not going to have a button like where every time when you click the button it's going to fire the event. So here I'm going to use on change event, because on change is an event. Every time when you change the values from this drop down menu, I want to fire that event. So in that case, we are not going to use on click. Here we are going to use on change, because every time when I change the options here, I want that event to be fired. So let me use the on change event here. So this on change event is going to call the function. So this function, we need to pass the name of the function. Let's say check price is the name of the function, right? So every time when I change the fruits here, every time when I change the values here, this check price function is going to be called. So what I'm going to do here, let me just copy the name of the function so that I can create one here in the main.js. So let me clear this part. So here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a function. The name of the function would be check price. So inside this function, what I can do, I can create variable. Let me say fruit equals, I'm going to use document.get select document.get element by id. So what I'm trying to target is this, right, this select option. So let me get the id for this select. So the id is fruits. So whatever the value that the user selects, so as usual we are going to put dot value as a method, right? It's not a node value, you have to make sure it has to be value, right? Then from there, simple, we are just going to test the condition. Now we are going to make use of the switch. So here we need to pass the expression. What is the expression are we going to pass? Here in this case, fruit is a expression. So here inside we are going to write the cases. Let's say case, the first one we can say apple. So if it is apple, we are just going to print the apple with a price, right? So for that I'm going to set the amount for the price, so variable amount. So the apple price I can say, let's say $2, followed by I just want to print this price. So what I'm going to do, so down there document dot get element by id, where do you want to print them? With this paragraph, with a paragraph here, right? So just grab this id, just going to say price, that's where I want to print, and then dot inner HTML property equals, we are going to just set the message saying the price of the fruit. Let's say just a message, right? The price of which one? The fruit. Where is the fruit now? This fruit is the apple. So I'm just going to pass this expression here so that it can print that particular fruit that we have selected. So here I'm going to use concatenation. I'm going to concatenate with the fruit that I'm going to print. Then let me just concatenate with another message like is, and then what you want to print? You want to print the amount. Where is the amount? The amount is stored into this particular variable, right? So here I'm going to just say plus amount. That's it. So because when I choose a fruit here, when you select the fruit from this list, I want to print the message saying the fruit is, and then the fruit that you have selected, and the price is this. So that is the reason why the amount is this one. So where are we going to find the amount from? This variable that we have them here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste the same thing for the next options. 2, 4, 5, I think, I don't know how many fruits we have them here. For 5, we have 5 fruits. So what I'm going to do, all I'm going to do is just change the names here. So the second fruit is apple, orange, banana. So here this is case sensitive. When you pass apple there, it has to be apple. So when you use uppercase at the first one, so it has to be in the uppercase because this is case sensitive. For example, for the apple, maybe the first one you may have uppercase, but if you use lowercase here, this one is not going to work. Let me just change the price for the fruits. Let me say $1. I don't know exactly, I'm just making it approximate, right? So let me just say this one and 3. So let me save and refresh. Let's see how does this one would work. So select the fruits. I'm going to select the fruit. So when I'm going to select the fruit, let me say banana. When I say banana, the price of banana is $3. Where does it come from? It's going to match with this case banana. Then it's going to print the amount. Here the amount is $1. I don't know why it's printing $3. Let us just check, because yeah, the reason is simple. As I said, that it's trying to get the amount from the previous one. So if you want to terminate the case when it's done, you have to use the break statement. No wonder that it is giving us the wrong values here. So don't forget to break each cases with a break statement. So let me just break this case here. So the use of break statement, the use of break keyword is very important. It's an optional, though it plays in white row. Otherwise you may ended up with getting a wrong result. So let me save and refresh. So I'm going to choose banana now. You can see the price of banana is $1 according to the amount that we have passed them here. So if you choose cherry, it has to give us 2.5. So the problem here is when I choose this fruit cherry, nothing is been displayed. The reason is simple, because in the case I have passed cherry here, the first letter of the cherry is uppercase. So when I go to my HTML, you can see here is the cherry, but the value that I have passed, the C is a lowercase, is not uppercase. That is a reason why it is not giving us the proper result. So make sure that the value that you pass them in the case has to be same name as the value that you pass them here, because the case is a case sensitive. So whatever the value that you pass them under the case, it has to be matched with the name that you have them here in the value. So let me refresh and let me choose cherry now, then it should work now. As you can see them here, the price of cherry is $2.5. If you can go there, the price of cherry is $2.5. Then the next important thing that I want you to know is the default case. We have already checked with that one. How does that one works? In case, let me change this one as a lowercase. So in this case, let me go there and refresh. Let me choose the cherry now. It's not going to display because this cherry is not same as the cherry that we have them here, because this C is an uppercase, this C is a lowercase. In that case, this cherry is not found in the list here in the case. So in that case, we can just say the default case saying sorry for the inconveniences because this fruit is not found in the list. So for that, we are going to use the default case. Just let me show you what I have done in the default case. So this default case is going to show us the message saying document.getElement by ID. We are just going to display sorry for the inconveniences, and then we are going to just, in that case we have chosen cherry, so it's going to say sorry for the inconveniences, cherry is currently not available in the list. So this is what we are going to be displaying as a default message in case if that fruit is not part of the list here in the switch statement. So let me go and refresh there. So when I choose cherry, it's going to display me sorry for the inconveniences, cherry is currently not available, because cherry is available of course, but the value that I have passed them here in the case is the wrong one. Instead of uppercase, I have passed the lowercase, so it's by default is going to take to this default case and it's going to display this message. I hope now you have understood how to use the switch statement in JavaScript. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe if you have not subscribed the channel yet. Thank you so much. See you in the next tutorial.